Hey guys, Unfrequented World. I must be crazy. I've loaded up the boat this morning. I tried last night to get a hold of about 4 different people to see who wanted to go with me this weekend up to Rabbit Lake. So, yes, this is to show you guys the camp where I had the freaky incident years ago, the screaming outside the cabin. This will be interesting to say the least. I couldn't get anyone to go with me, so I'm going to do it alone. I guess just like anything else, if you want it done, you just got to go do it. So I thought long and hard about this last night. I actually even contemplated bringing a tent up there, and no, I can't do that. So today is just going to be exploration. I've got the drone, I've got a bunch of camera gear, and I'm bringing some fishing gear too, because if I'm going up there, that's what I'm going to do. But I'll show you what I can. I make no promises. So I actually got a whole camera bag of gear today. We've got a camcorder with 24x zoom, GoPro, we've got the phone, and we've got a picture camera. And I'm not entirely alone today because Gage volunteered to come with me, eh buddy? You're not afraid of no squatch. Well, maybe he is, I don't know. You should be. So we've got about 80 kilometers of highway driving ahead of us, and I'll just show you guys the forest up here. It's boreal forest, a lot of spruce, pine, coniferous trees, swampland. They call this the land of lakes up here. We have, there are thousands of lakes up here in northern Ontario, a lot of swampland, and it's basically the perfect hideaway spot for a cryptid. So where we're going to end up going is the municipality of Temagami. We're going to be south of Temagami, but you can take Rabbit Lake by boat all the way up to Temagami. It's probably something like 35 kilometers, something like that. And if you guys look online, there are reports from other people of strange Sasquatchy type incidences up here. People hearing screams. There was another incident reported, and a couple of kids had reported from seeing something from their boat on the shoreline. And so I'm not the only one to have a weird incident up here. That's Temagami, Ontario. You can look those up online. So it's actually 90 kilometers on the dot to Rabbit Lake Forest Access Road from my place. I'm going to show you guys on Google Maps the territory. We're going to do some droning stuff here too, so I can show you the actual swamp and stuff. But I wanted to show you guys that we own a camp on the Ottawa River, and we actually drive northeast about an hour to get to the access to my camp. So we always thought when we were kids that this place, Brian's camp, was so far away from ours. But if you look on Google Earth or Google Maps, I think it's only 26 kilometers as the crow flies from my camp to their camp. Old growth forest up here, all protected forest around my camp. It's the same up here. So, you know, we can go 1,000 miles north of here. You're going to hit the odd little community. But other than that, guys, it's just bush as far as you can see. Just got dusted out by a big truck there. Holy. Apparently everything up here is denoted with a orange construction cone on the side of the road as well. They've literally got an 11-inch drop back there, a ditch running across the whole road. And I just hit that. I mean, we're not going fast, but that'll cause some damage. That will cause some damage, man. So that's how I had to park here, because there are no spots left, but we should be all right. We'll be able to pull the trailer out of there after, I hope. All right, so we're on the lake. This is Gage's first time in the boat. You doing okay, buddy? He's a little unsure, eh? You're a little unsure what's going on here. I'll take you for a swim later and you'll be happy. I know what makes him happy. Okay, let's get up the lake. Back in here, this back bay is where Brian's camp is. So out here in the main bay, there are some cottages. Then we've got to still go into this back bay here, half a mile, and all of this northern shore here, and to the east, that's where we hunt, basically over that mountain there. And there's nobody back in this corner, and literally hundreds and hundreds of miles of empty swamp back in there, guys. And there's another little swamp right up in there over that mountain. So lots of empty land up here. Okay, there it is. There's Brian's camp in the dock. And right there is where we used to fish pickerel in the evening. There's a creek that comes out right there. And as you guys can see in this back bay here, there is no other cottages anywhere. There's a big island out here. And that goes back to the main channel. So he's probably, I don't know, a mile from the nearest camp, which is down that way. And then the main channel to the Mogmi runs up that way, and you're just going to keep going north. We'll put the drone up off the dock, and I'll just show you guys how much empty land there is around the camp. Well, if you want to know how long a dock lasts, I helped Brian build this 25 years ago. And it's starting to rot, so well, it's not so bad here in broad daylight. This is the camp, guys. So right here on the left wall is where the bunks are, where you sleep. And my bunk was facing north, actually, so my head was kind of against this front wall here. And where I heard the screaming, if I had to guesstimate to place it, I mean, it was so loud, you could feel it. You could feel the noise vibrating in your chest. Would have been somewhere just off to the right of the camp here. Somewhere right in, you know, down in here somewhere. And so the first scream came from here, off to the southeast, and it was probably lasted, 8 seconds, something like that. And then a second scream followed not very long afterwards, 20 seconds after or something, from this side of the camp, like right here, right under the window. So if we come to this side, the windows were probably open. It was probably hot in the camp. I don't remember to say, but my bunk would be right here on this wall, with my head on this end and my feet down there. And then Brian was laying on the opposite end with his head at that end and his feet this way, but he was snoring, so he didn't hear anything. So we're just at the back of the camp here, and somewhere off down here there used to be a trail. And it goes way up. There's a mountain up here. They called it the mountain. So when we would go hunting, we would always send one group of guys up the mountain. And it's quite a walk. It takes about an hour to get up there. And I don't even know where the trail is in here anymore. It's kind of overgrown. And somewhere down here in this valley. And you got to walk quite a ways up there. That's one way to get up there. Another way is we'd always send guys up in canoes. So there's another trail back through here that goes to where the canoes were stored. And then you would get into the swamp, and two guys would get in the canoe and go up that way. And there's a lake up there, like I was telling you guys. And we would walk around that lake for a day's hunt. But if you look at the forest floor here, I mean, it's covered in leaf litter, and it's very soft. Like, there would be no tracks. We're not leaving any tracks when we walk here, so it's not like you could track something up here. I don't know why I'm doing this, but I'm kind of walking just behind the camp here. We're not going too far, I can tell you that. But look at the old growth here. All these big pines. So this is the typical bush, what it looks like up here. It's thick, full of conifers, swamps, lots of bugs, and no people. Very thick. So I also want to be clear, guys. I get a lot of people posting on the videos, oh, it was a screech owl or a coyote or whatever. And I want to be absolutely clear, guys. No, I have a biology degree. I've been hunting since I could walk in the bush with my father. I have a trapping license. You know, we hear coyotes and wolves howling. We hear the screaming fox mating in the spring. Birds and every other thing. You know, it's nothing new to us. We live in the bush. So only the one time did I ever hear anything that I cannot place. I've never heard anything like it since. And it was very strange on its own. It was a complete abnormal thing to hear. Now, Brian is even more of a woods guy than me. He grew up living in little cabins like this in the bush, you know, out trapping and hunting all the time when he was a kid. And he heard the same thing and could not identify it. His hunting party, who were all experienced Northern Ontario hunting men, could not identify that sound. Now, the other thing I want to mention is I've always wondered about migratory patterns, because Brian said that they were up here hunting in the fall, beginning of fall, same as we were, Thanksgiving weekend, somewhere around there, and they heard that same screaming. So I just wondered, you know, is this something that's not here year-round? It just comes in, passing through, moving south maybe as winter's coming on? I don't know, but that would make sense to me. I don't know. Now, I don't know if I mentioned in the last video as well, Brian has had things thrown at the camp when he's been up here. He's found bare footprints in the swamp. All kinds of things that I didn't mention in the last video, but strange country up here. I'm pretty sure if something attacks us, the dog is not going to save me, so we're going to do what we have to do while it's broad daylight, middle of the day here, and get out of Dodge. So I do have the idea to come back here and put out some trail cameras, but I want people with me. I don't want to be going up, you know, a mile in the bush by myself. I want to talk to Brian, see if he cares. I don't think he will. Just have a guy's weekend again and put some trail cameras out, leave them for a month or so. Worst case, we're going to get a bunch of moose and other cool things on there. And then we'll come back and get them. And I want to do a full night of camping out here, but not by myself. And so today is just a recon mission, just to show you guys the location and that it is very remote. I mean, I don't know if Sasquatch is real. Does it exist? I don't know. I didn't see one. That's my thing, right? So, but I would like to believe that there is something scary ass out there, and that's what I heard. That it's not just something mundane that put this terror in me for the last 20-some years of my life. Also, just to show you guys while we're here, the attic has the top bunks up there, and that there's a window. We can't see it from here, but facing out over the lake. Right there. And a few years back, all these trees weren't that high. You could see clearly out over to the lake. And right across here is where that orange globe went. It was maybe 200 meters off the end of the dock and maybe 100 to 200 meters high. And it went right over the big hill down that way. So just can't stay out of the water, this guy. He's always in the water. Oh, right, you're gonna pick a little stick to take home with you. Okay. Is that the one you want? Yeah, good luck with that, Gage. I was gonna have to go swimming there. All right, guys, we've got technical difficulties with the drone, which is nothing new for me. I have not used it in probably 6 months, and the DJI software is abysmal for this thing. So I cannot get the screen. It has an overlay on there saying firmware update, blah, 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 and it will not disappear, and I will not fly the drone if I can't see the screen, the whole screen. I have crashed this, if you guys have watched the channel at all. I have crashed my drone about 8 times now, so I need everything working in my favor to do this. So what we're gonna have to do is I'll show you guys on Google Earth the area. It's too bad, I really wanted to get down in that swamp and show you guys. And I just had to fish the GoPro out of the lake here. I'm pretty sure the dog knocked it in the lake. I don't know what happened, we'll look at the footage, but yeah, so I'm just taking that as a sign of that's my luck. Don't fly the drone because I am not going up to that swamp to get it if it goes down. Here's a better view of the creek. Not so scary during daylight hours, but it used to be a freaky place to go at night. Never really thought about it before, but when you're up here fishing, you're not watching the shore, you're not looking in the bush. How many times, you know, is there wildlife right there that you're not looking for because you're paying attention to driving the boat, fishing lines, what's going on in the boat? You know, in this trip here, I'm pretty much, my focus is split. And yeah, it just makes you think. So this is the little dead-end bay down here, and then up to the left, straight over the hill, would be the little swamp I'll show you guys online. And there were tracks apparently found in there. That was many years ago. And he told me that he found bare footprints in there. Not long prints, like 9 or 10 inches, but he said they were almost as half as wide, 5 or 6 inches wide. So, but again, Brian attributes that to natives running around naked in the bush, I guess. I don't know. Barefoot for sure. This right here is Rabbit Lake. So we drove up Highway 11 today, and we turned off here on Rabbit Lake Road. And we drove in until we got to this point right here. That's where we launched the boat. So this is where we launched, and we drove up into the main part of the lake. And this is where I showed you guys, this is the main route up to Temagami. And we stayed over here to the right. This is the cottages I showed you guys. There's a whole bank of cottages on that left bay. And then you go back into this back channel all by itself here. Right here at the end is Brian's camp. There are no camps down this side until you get down here, and there are no camps anywhere down here on the right. So when you're at Brian's, I'll just show you his camp. There's his dock. That's where we were today. There's the camp where we were today. And here's the river, the little creek that comes out. And what I wanted to show you guys with the drone was this creek. Somewhere right in here is the trail. It goes in here, and we used to keep canoes like right in here. And we'd walk out into the marsh and then canoe up into this lake up here. Okay, so this lake here is full of pike. This is where we moose hunt. So there's Brian's camp. All in this area up here is where we moose hunt. And if you scroll out, I'll show you guys, there is nothing. I mean, we could literally go, you know, hundreds of miles. There's the odd little town over here on the highway, but there's nothing to the right, nothing to the left. It's just, we are not far from Brian's camp. It's 28 kilometers from that point right there on the river up to, there's Brian's camp right there. So from there to there is about 28 kilometers, something like that. And as the crow flies. So it's not very far. We're still in that big empty territory, and I think that our camp would actually be a good spot to do a bit of investigating as well. It's all old growth, untouched timber. The forests have been there untouched for the last 100 years. They were all logged previous to that started in the 1830s, and by 1920 or 1930 they were done logging in there. So it's been 100 years of no activity. So you never know. That's a nicer bass than I thought it was going to be. Hey, Gage, what's that? Look at, what's that? That's called a monster bass, my friend. That's a big one. No, don't lick the fish. Actually, that's that is a nice fish. Hey, there we go. Nice little northern pike. We'll let him go. Geez, I got another one. Maybe some of the guys will come up here squatching if they see how good the fishing is right now. Come here. Look at that. Northern Ontario bass right there, guys. No, back. Back, Gage. You're gonna get hooked. You cost me my fish. Eh? We were gonna let him go anyway. Yeah, that's what we do up here.